Godzilla vs. Kong finally had its trailer released on the 24th of January, and naturally there is a ton to talk about regarding this trailer. Given that this video is probably going to be out by the time that the community has picked most of the meat off the bones of this trailer, like a flock of vultures tearing apart the carcass of a recently deceased impala, I doubt that I'm going to be the first one to talk about a lot of the subjects that are going to be brought up in this video. But who cares? It's the Monsterverse, the one-stop kaiju YouTuber shop for easy clicks and lots of ad revenue. Except for me, I don't make money off of YouTube. So anyways, let's dive into some of the things that I thought were pretty noteworthy about the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. Okay, so just taking a look at the trailer itself, visually it's really great. The colors are extremely vibrant, the CGI looks consistently good throughout the trailer, the framing and composition of the shots look really solid, there are no overbearing particle effects, and the fights, although we have seen in the movie thus far, look really great. My big problem with the fights in King of the Monsters is that a lot of the choreography mostly came from the idea of having cool spectacle moments over, well, actual choreography. Also, having tiny humans dodging around the feet of 400-foot tall monsters doesn't really help with that. Here, however, everything flows really well with each other, and none of it feels off or out of place whatsoever. The movements are also extremely smooth. I think that this mostly comes from the fact that these monsters are much slower in comparison to King of the Monsters, but I think that really helps the size and the weight of these 400-foot tall, 100,000-ton monsters. I know that was a big problem with a lot of people regarding the last film, how all the action moved at about 90,000 miles a minute. So it's nice to see how this time the action got slowed down a ton and now it actually feels a lot more real. I also appreciate how the trailer actively shows that Kong can put up one heck of a fight against Godzilla. Even without the axe, he is a force to be reckoned with. My big concern with these two fighting is that somehow Godzilla is going to get a massive debuff in order for the fight to be slightly fair. My original thought being that Kong was going to get his axe by ripping out one of Godzilla's dorsal plates and then just shoving it into a bone and bada bing bada boom, now Kong can go toe to toe with Godzilla. But now it definitely seems like both monsters are on a similar playing field even without the axe as a factor. However, the trailer hasn't swayed my viewpoint on who I think is going to win. Godzilla is the much bigger character in this franchise, and I doubt that Warner Brothers has the balls to make him lose. Also, they literally cannot have Godzilla die, so yeah, there is that. But honestly, at this point, I'm kind of rooting for Kong. I mean, I already like the Monsterverse Kong a lot more than I like the Monsterverse Godzilla, but this trailer shows off the advantages that he has over Godzilla. Kong can throw much harder punches, he's much faster, has the axe, and he is most certainly a lot smarter, because Kong is a thinking animal. Meanwhile, Godzilla has a brain that is only this size. He is sheer brute force. And on the topic of Godzilla, let's move on to the main title of the video. The villainous Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong, and how, yes, it is actually Godzilla in the trailer and not some sort of disguised Mechagodzilla looking guy. Okay, so we know that Mechagodzilla is going to be in the movie, and we have known this for quite some time now. We've had toy leaks from over a year ago that show off the design, so naturally a lot of people have been speculating about what the potential role of Mechagodzilla could be in this film. The most common one being that he would be some sort of big foe that Godzilla and Kong would have to team up against and defeat, because we can't have definitive winners in versus movies anymore. However, with the release of the trailer, many have come to speculate a brand new idea, that Godzilla, one of the two title characters in Godzilla vs. Kong, is actually an imposter. The main basis for this theory is that Godzilla is actively shown being destructive, attacking battleships and blowing up cities and stuff, behavior that is apparently out of character for the Monsterverse Godzilla. So it has to be a Mechagodzilla in disguise, and Godzilla is being controlled by Apex to destroy their facilities and frame Godzilla so that he could be viewed as a bad guy by most people. But then it'd be revealed that the Godzilla we've been seeing throughout the film is actually Mechagodzilla, who has been using a disguise, either a suit or a bunch of holograms, to frame Godzilla. This theory is so stupid. There are many issues that I have with the Godzilla in disguise theory, though there is one really big one that I can't seemingly wrap my head around. So, assuming that Apex is the one that builds Mechagodzilla, after all, Apex is a cybernetics company according to the IMDb cast listings, why would they be using their own monster to destroy their own facilities? Okay, I get it would be to frame the real Godzilla by having a fake one destroy the facilities and junk, but why would they actively want to do that? As shown in the trailers, Godzilla's destruction is shown to be actively killing people, so assumedly these Apex facilities must be full of hundreds of people. Would whoever owned Apex actually be okay with the active destruction of his own assets just to frame Godzilla? I don't know about you, but I would argue that that'd be pretty stupid. There's also a ton of other things that I have problems with, such as how the title would be a complete lie, or how I don't think hologram technology would fit into the current state of the Monsterverse, or how the Mechagodzilla design seen in the movie could not practically fit in a Godzilla suit, like at all. I think this theory is just complete garbo, and if it happens, I'll legitimately hate it. Both the concept and the movie. So how do I think Godzilla turning villainous could actually work? Well, let me tell you. I think that Godzilla will be going on a hunt searching for the incomplete Mechagodzilla. Okay, just hear me out. We've been shown in the Monsterverse that Godzilla is able to be aware of certain things that are going to be happening before anyone else does. We saw this in King of the Monsters with the intimidation scene and how everyone came to the conclusion that Godzilla was basically telling the Monarch crew to go to Antarctica because Ghidorah was going to be awakened soon. And that was assumedly a few hours or so before that event actually happened. I can imagine that Godzilla used a similar ability here. He picked up that Apex was building some sort of Titan killing weapon, and naturally he wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible. So he destroyed an Apex facility and moved on with his day. However, Apex, through certain means, maybe they'll be traveling through the Hollow Earth, take whatever parts of Mechagodzilla are left over to another facility and continue the construction. Godzilla will show up again, destroy the facility, rinse and repeat. Godzilla is reported for attacking a cybernetics company as well as many other places. I imagine that Apex facilities would be in decently populated areas that simultaneously have access to the Hollow Earth, and Godzilla would naturally be addressed as a bigger and bigger threat until eventually Godzilla gets vetoed and is soon referred to as public enemy number 1. As for how this relates to Kong, he's being moved off of Skull Island, so Godzilla goes on a little detour to find Kong, and once he does, they have their big fight on the aircraft carrier, and assumedly Godzilla wins. Maybe during the fight, Kong loses his little human friend that he made on Skull Island, and naturally, when he arrives back home to the Hollow Earth, he finds the axe and is now going to beat the devil out of Godzilla as vengeance for what happened to his little human friend. They both converge in Hong Kong, with Godzilla showing up to destroy the final Apex facility, and potentially a now active and berserk Mechagodzilla, and Kong showing up to take revenge for his buddy. All three of them fight, and either Godzilla or Kong get the win. Roll credits, movie over. I like this theory a lot because it allows Warner Brothers to have their cake and eat it too, having an actively destructive Godzilla that has consistent characterization from the last time we saw him. Godzilla would only be destructive because doing so would be beneficial to the planet. Apex is making a Titan killing weapon, so naturally Godzilla would want to destroy it because it would restore balance, which is like his whole thing. It also allows for a logical reason for both Kong and Godzilla to fight. For Godzilla, it's because Kong is getting in the way of him from killing Mechagodzilla, and for Kong, he's getting revenge for his little human friend that could have been killed in Godzilla's attack. I like this theory a lot, and I hope that this is what happens in the movie to some degree. I don't imagine that Godzilla's plot would be one-to-one the way that I described it, but I hope that it's something similar to what I have theorized. We only have a little less than 2 months to go, so let's see if that actually happens. I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm excited to see this movie, but not gonna lie, I'm kinda sorta bracing for the worst. Like, okay, I'm gonna like what I said I was gonna like at the beginning of this video. That part most likely is not gonna change unless the fights actually turn out to be garbage. And considering that Warner Brothers does a great job at putting lipstick on a pig, it isn't entirely impossible that that won't happen. This film, from the looks of it, seemed to be another victim of the biggest problem with the Monsterverse Godzilla films, and how there has to be an entirely different cast with maybe 2 or 3 carryovers from the last movie, as opposed to just sticking to an already established cast of characters. It's just like what happened in the Heisei series. It wasn't very good there, and it's not very good here. This isn't like in the Showa era where you didn't have extremely loose continuity and could afford to have a new cast of characters each film. This is a cinematic universe, and you should have your cast of characters carry over and be consistent between films. I don't think that I'm asking for too much here. However, if this film manages to make its human cast strong and likable and its story engaging, then I'll forgive it. Slightly. I don't think that Godzilla vs. Kong will do much to change my mind on the Monsterverse as a whole. Chances are it will still be on the lower half of my Godzilla series list, but regardless, I am still hoping for something good, and from the looks of it, that's hopefully what we'll be getting. But these were just my thoughts, and I want to know yours. Are you excited for this movie? What are your thoughts on the trailer and my Godzilla theory? Did you all think that it was good trash or somewhere in between? Be sure to follow my social medias and join my Discord server, which are all linked in the description below. Either way, I'm Sam the Geigen fan, reminding you that the Mechagodzilla skin theory is kinda stupid, and telling you all to wash your hands.